Hello and welcome to the next Let's Play of Sonic 06. Host and the only speaker for this Let's Play is Darby Shadow, which is me, and recorded and played by DevTool238. And I'm just going to summarize what happened in the last part. And the last part of the episode of Sonic 06, we was tackled through with TK as the guest. He's not here today. And he was explaining about the introduction of Sonic 06, Soliana and Elise that Sonic has to rescue against Dr. Eggman. And Dr. Eggman has special plans for Elise that has something to do with the necklace she has and the fate of Soliana. As in now, we just went through another portal, I think, or another room that perhaps may lead us to another action stage, I believe. And it's still loading. Oh, so we have a bit of robots guarding that room for the next action stage, and we're just gonna take it out with a couple of homemade hacks. I think that should be enough to take down these robots. And that's it. We just got a result screen. And we have Tails and Knuckles in the background. They're not even looking at something. No, nobody's not even looking at the screen. Okay, and we got an S right there. That's quite surprising. Okay, and another loading screen. Yeah, we get a lot of loading screens in this game. I wonder if the production was finished. Would they have kept as much loading screens as much as possible, or do you think that the loading screens would have cut off? So we would have had less loading screens and more just straight on gameplay action. Even though, I'm not sure, I'm not certain. But here we go, we're going to jump into this portal right now. Oh, but first, we're just looking into a small room. Now we jumped into a portal. Into the first snow stage of Sonic 06, White Acropolis. This is a little animation just to show the sliding while it's loading. And yes, another loading screen. So we see Sonic on the board and we're sliding down the hill of the first stage for White Acropolis, and sliding down, and it feels a bit weird in this game with the physics, I should say. Is that physics are nowhere to be seen in this part of the section, and it's more about your control of the board and your control of moving around on this 3D plane while going down the slope. It's not really about physics pushing you down, so really physics is thrown out the window here. So it's more about your control. So look, sloping down, you got these straight up pathways, and what's great is that there's not much, you can't really see any invisible walls, as much 3D games has. And we got the full control of Sonic, and we're just sliding down. It's going to be a little 2-minute section here. And right now we're just seeing Avalanche strolling down, trying to chase down Sonic. Which is always the case for Sonic. Everything is always chasing down Sonic in games, if I remember, in the past few games. And now I believe another loading screen. Yes, another loading screen. We're going to go into the second part of White Acropolis. I think this is the last part we're going to ever see a loading screen for this action stage, because normally there's 3 loading screens for each action stage. But because there's no mech speedrun in this part, we don't have 3 parts, just 2 parts. And for the remaining of the next part, it's very expansive, very big, very 3D-ish. Oh, no, my bad. Before we actually go for the actual big 3D part, I think it's going to be another character taking over Sonic for this part. But I'm just not certain who's the character going to be again. Or we might skip that. Depends on which mode it is, because I think very hard mode is different. But here we see more robots are attacking with homing attack, and the home attack is very useful in 3D games. Well, in the recent 3D games, it's very straightforward and it's very easy to home attack. I remember back in the past 3D games with the adventure games, and the home attack wasn't straightforward direct. It had some problems, and you had to kind of direct it, and also you had to maneuver it. So you had to come closer and hit straight on. If you don't, you're gonna have like problems like trying to aim at the enemy and it actually hits you with that games. And then in Sonic 06 and probably past future games that can unleash colors and generations, it's very straightforward and it will attack you in the further reach of distance, what makes the gameplay smooth and fast for attacking enemies. So enemies is not really a problem in these 3D games. And right now we're just playing with Tails as a switch through, as I said, because I couldn't remember this game that well, because it's been a while since I've played this game. All I'm just doing is really just talking over through the game that Death to All 238 so I'm playing. And what Tails has is different from other games is the dummy ring bomb. Dummy ring bomb is just a set of rings and you can attack them, the enemies, and that's really it. So he's lost his tail spin attack and is rolling into a ball like in the classic games, and he did have that in Sonic Adventure 1. So we're back with just Sonic in this stage, and I don't think there's another loading screen for that, and it's going to be the final part of this action tape. So we're just seeing more home attack features, and the enemies, every time we hit more enemies, the frame rate drops slightly. I think it's because there's so much that's being done in the background, and it's really having a hard time to actually keep up. So home attack was really an issue with the final production of the game, since it's been a small production, and that's what was my biggest complaint, is about the frame rates, just slipping by each time, and that's what definitely needs to be fixed on the Sonic game. Any Sonic game I would enjoy is definitely 60 frames per second consistently. I enjoy them game because Sonic has to keep his pace, speed really fast across the screen, and I can't really deal with like 30 frames per second or even lower, because he sometimes drops in gameplay and you can really notice it, and it really affects your experience. And we're nearly done with this stage, so it was a smooth run. I would say that for this stage is that what you got to remember and notice is that there's lots of enemies and they can boost up your score for an S rank. So attack as many enemies as you can for the S rank. As you see, because we've just got an S rank right now, and all I notice is that our player here has just been attacking the enemies a lot, just to boost up the points and score. And also we getting a gold medal for complete the stage. So huzzah! 2 gold medals actually. So the 2 gold medals is probably for one, complete the stage, and the other one for getting an S rank, which is pretty cool. So another loading screen. Oh, another cutscene. I remember this cutscene.
Well, we had to deal with your little pets.
Where's Elise?
My, aren't we impatient?
Ooh, Dr. Eggman's got Elise.
You better not move.
Oh, this is troublesome.
The Chaos Emerald. Place it there.
Funny thing about this cutscene is that this cutscene reminds me of the cutscene of Sonic Adventure 2 when Dr. Eggman forces Sonic to place the Chaos Emerald onto the capsule in Space Colony Arc, and he traps him and flies him off to space and tries to blow him up. In this one, he does the same thing. He tricks him, places the Chaos Emerald onto the capsule again, and then Eggman sends him back into the future.
It's too powerful for you to overcome.
So the only difference I see here is that Eggman's more cruel. He's more mature and more calm on his speech when he's talking to Sonic and his friends, or anybody. he doesn't sound really angry, or he doesn't sound very cheeky in his actions. So that was a new twist for Dr. Eggman's personality in this game, which nobody, and I mean nobody, would have ever thought that Dr. Eggman would have been so calm.
They're not dead.
But yeah, this is a very long cutscene, and it's really straining onto the gameplay. But I see that with Sonic's story is that, does it really need a lot of cutscenes for it to be really entertaining? Because it's very simple, very straightforward, but at the same time it's very enjoyable to watch if you love the story, if you like the story even. Because I just think that there should be cutscenes in games, but it depends if it really makes the purpose of being there, instead of just going straight forward, because we can just go straight forward from action stage to action stage without this cutscene being in the way and trying to slow us down. And that's the problem, because Sonic's storyline is very straightforward, as we've pretty much explained in the last episode, of just trying to save Princess Elise and not trying to let Dr. Eggman get all the Chaos Emeralds. So that's pretty much of a shock of having a lot of cutscenes.